Hello my friends, I'm out here mid-afternoon, beautiful sunny day in Alberta. Actually it is blue sky and the sun is high, but it's full of smoke. This summer's the summer of smoke, I guess. It's not so bad here, but a lot of places, Canada and northern and eastern United States, I mean, you wouldn't want to be there. Good luck with your gardens. But behind me here I got all my bees happening. I'm going to be adding a second brood box to one of my splits. So I made 2 splits and a nuke this spring from my 2 colonies, and all 3 are doing great, going great guns. It's a great season for nectar. I've already pulled off some honey and I'll be looking at pulling off some more today, but for now at least all I'm going to do is check on the one new colony. This summer I started with a Kona Queen and some frames out of my Kona Queen's colony. So everything's looking good. I'll take you over there and show you what I'm looking for before I put on a second box, and whether or not I should put on a second box. So come on, let's go check out some bees. Okay, here's a split I made from a colony that hadn't produced any queen cells yet. So I went and purchased a couple queens, mated laying queens. So they've accepted the queen, and yeah, it's looking good. I have a hindrance reducer on there because it was a small colony to start. So I wanted to make sure they only had a small entrance to defend, sitting next to huge colonies, which left them alone, but I'll probably be taking that off. We have very hot days, so by popping that off I'll help the bees and their ventilation. But yeah, I'm just going to pop the lid off, see what's going on in there. Maybe bring you a little closer. Let's see how this does. Okay. Yeah, I'll just pop the lid off here. Hopefully give you a look inside. Alright, let's pop this lid off and see what's going on in there. I don't know if I got a good angle with the camera. Can't see anything. Even with all the smoke, it's still too bright to see the little LCD screen on the camera. I think it's in focus on the top of the box. Okay, just splitting off the inner cover with the hive tool. And as much as you can, lift the covers, lids, everything away from you, as if it was a pot of boiling water or something. Active bees. See the queen on there. Excellent. Okay. So what I do see on here, a lot of comb being built between the frames and filled in with honey. There's only so much you can see. I'm looking in on top. I'm going to pull out a couple frames, see what exactly is going on in here. Working with a small colony like this, the suit is really overkill. But I'll also be going into my large colonies, and the weather is strange, so bees can be ornery when there's bad weather on the way. There may be thunderstorms later. Here's an interesting frame. So here's just the foundation. and the bees drawing out the new wax, the new comb. I don't see anything in it yet. Well, if they're starting off with only a couple of frames, these bees are doing pretty good. Wasn't overly generous with frames or resources. Basically like installing a 5-frame nuke. Only 3 frames of bees, and there we go, I see some brood. Let's pull this out. The dog's out here helping me, but she's crated, so she doesn't get in trouble with the bees. Or get in trouble when I upset the bees. So she may bark and complain a bit while I'm making this video. But yeah, basically for putting on the second box, I'm just looking to make sure. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get this in the camera at all. This is all newly capped brood. This is the queen, what she laid. It's a pretty good pattern. Filled in most of the frames. These frames were a bit of a mess too, so yeah, no, excellent. I didn't really take a close look to see if I could find a queen there, but with all that mature brood, I doubt she'd be there. So that frame I just showed was the capped brood. Okay, so that's the young bees just before they're about to be born. So that's a whole frame of new bees that are going to be flying within the week. And then of course the queen will come back and lay some more eggs in those frames. But all those extra bees is going to chew the population up. So if I was wondering if I should put on a second box, I think the answer is yes. Here's another frame that hasn't been completely drawn out yet has all kinds of brood on it. Let's take a closer look. I got larvae. So I definitely have a laying queen. Okay. I'm not using smoke because the air is so full of smoke. But if you have a suit on, you don't have smoke, and you want bees to move, just give them a strong blow of your exhaled air, right? They will move out of your way. Don't do that without the suit or a hood on, as they will attack carbon dioxide, right? The exhaust of the predator trying to eat their hive. So if you're blowing a bunch of carbon dioxide at them, they might fly right into your mouth. And this one just attacked the hive tool. Okay. So, frickin' dog probably thinks I'm talking to her. Ooh, there's lots of bees down there. Oh, the queen's down there doing something. I'm falling up here too. Okay, where did I put the other frame? So I got one frame out of 10 that hasn't been drawn out yet. And I have at least 3 or 4 frames with capped brood. They're about to hatch. So the smart thing, as we are in the middle of the flow, the main summer flow here in Alberta, I have clover blooming all around me. Has been for over a week, almost 2 weeks now. gathering together. Okay, so put on new box lines, real simple. It's a great opportunity to go in there and see what's going on. I'm pretty satisfied with the weather and all that. I don't really want to be in here more than I have to, because I don't know how much time I have left before thunderstorms, and I want to do more important colonies that are producing honey. Okay, I'm going to give you a different angle. Okay, I don't know how good you can see anything from there, because I have limited options with the camera. No one to hold it for me. So I got wooden frames. It's a plastic waxed insert. It slides in there, but when you get them, they're not always in perfect. So just make sure you're double checking you're all in there flat. Or else you get funny comb. Now you can melt some beeswax and take a paintbrush and paint your frames. Some people think that speeds it up. My plastic frames I put in were like that. I had, or else it would just be plastic surface. The wax hopefully makes the bees feel at home. So yeah, I'm just gonna shove these in here. Make sure they're all tight together. And if you're not making a video and messing around with cameras or your dog or whatever too, this whole process takes really 3 or 4 minutes. You have to open up the hive, pull a few frames, check the colony size and health. Best thing to learn as a beekeeper, the life cycle of the honeybee. Very simple. You can see an egg, you know how many days since it's been laid, you know how many days till it's going to hatch. So every time you pull a frame, by looking at what's on it, gives you also a time frame of what you have to do, or should do, or don't have to do. In this case, I have a lot of bees going to hatch out and be flying around, so this is going to give them more room. And it's also mid-July, so I want these frames filled out, full of honey and brood before winter. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Nothing fancy. A single frame brood box, and just adding a box to it or whatever. You don't really need to suit up or use gloves. The bees were pretty calm actually, even though the weather's not that great. Yeah. Always manage to squish a few closing the lid, but and that's all there is to it. I won't need to even bother with this colony for at least 2 weeks. I'll probably open it in 2 weeks and check it out. See if I can put I've got honey supers with drawn out comb, so it wouldn't be much effort for them if I put one of those on there. And late July, early August, I might even get honey from this colony this year, which would be excellent. But yeah, there you go. I'll just turn this off. Alright, my spring split is now a 2 deep summer colony. Of course, one box still empty, I just put it on. But she's all ready to go. Again, like I said, I'll check in 2 weeks and maybe throw on a honey super that already has drawn out comb and try and catch some honey, which would be great, but I don't need it. My biggest concern is that they get some for themselves, which they have a month and a half, and then all of September also. So So 2.5 months to prepare for winter. Hopefully we'll have a late fall like we did last year, and they'll be bringing in stuff till October. So yeah, it's looking good so far, no problem at all. And yeah, like I said, doing something like this, even just inspecting a single box, you don't really need to suit up like me. I'm like in a hazard suit here. But I will be opening up these other boxes, and the weather is closing in, so the bees are a bit testy. Always be safe than sorry, but remember, don't avoid all stings. If you work with bees, you're exposed to the proteins all the time. They're on your clothes, they're in your house, also the people you live with and your animals. So if you don't take a few bee stings each year, you're going to build up those proteins and develop an allergy, which can be very lethal. So don't always suit up like what you see on YouTube. Go out there and handle your bees, take a few stings, and you'll be healthier in the long run and not have to worry about allergies. That's the #1 way people get allergies from bees, is being exposed to the proteins without being exposed to the venom. Okay, so if you're going to be exposed to the proteins, make sure you get stung. And make sure if you're a beekeeper, you keep your stuff separated. Don't do any washes with your family's clothes or leave stuff where they're exposed to it more than necessary, unless they're being stung too. But yeah, I don't know where that came from. That's my PSA of the day. Don't worry about getting stung, right? If you're handling a small colony in a single box, you're really not going to get stung. They're not going to be aggressive. It's the big colonies over my shoulder. Those ones will get aggressive if you drop a frame, hit them with a bee brush, if there's bad weather, all kinds of stuff. So it's a good idea then to wear a suit. Mostly just so you can continue your work with the bee stings. But yeah, that's about it. I'll bring you back in a week or two. I haven't decided if I'm going to sell the nuke I have ready to go, or if I'm going to keep it and turn it into more nukes next spring. But if I keep it, I'll do a video on how to install a nuke. I'll do a video on my other split that was made from queen cells to show you that it's entirely possible to make your own queens without any effort or grafting or anything else. You let the bees do it. You know, I won't get 10 queens out of there, I'll get 1, but you'll be a laying queen and it'll be a healthy colony. Raising queens is a different thing. I'm just talking about splits and having your own queens for them and continuing your genetics of your good colonies. And that's why I took a split and had them make their own queen from my best colony. Honey producing, wax producing, just a huge population colony, right? It's my favorite queen. I just love her. So yeah, if you enjoyed this or could see anything that I was doing, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I also do easy, affordable, and sustainable organic gardening. This is organic natural beekeeping. I also make mead. If you like puppies, I got one running around here somewhere. She's in a crate now, but she does run into the videos. Alright, so yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you are doing well wherever you are, whenever you watch this. Peace.